waking up on front pages of pretty much all newspapers. All of that was so hard to go through on my own. To have my own studio wasn't actually my first thought when I left Strictly. I became a mom, I had my daughter, I love being at home. But of course, I love teaching. I love teaching ballroom dancing. I've been doing it for so many years, several decades really. And I was also practicing yoga for more than 20 years, and I always wanted to be qualified as a yoga teacher. So once I've done my qualifications, I thought, well, what next? I'm in a new place. I moved to Northampton from London. It was a very different lifestyle, a very different vibe. And I thought I probably want to open a studio where I can teach a little bit of yoga, a little bit of dancing. But then that sort of small thought about the small studio became a very big project, because the place actually we took for the premises of my dance studio and the yoga studio is quite big. And it ended up being one of the biggest businesses in the Northamptonshire. And we did won a lot of awards, which makes me super happy, because the local community actually voted for us and named us best studio in Northamptonshire for 3 years in a row. We also won a national award, which was absolutely incredible. But what nobody knows, what it really is like to run your own business nowadays. The pressure is unbelievable. And though I don't mind the pressure, I've been under pressure all my life as a professional dancer. And it's a very strong sport. But it's a whole different new thing, because I've never been a businesswoman in the sense that I had to actually form a business. I was my own brand, and I kind of only had to manage me. But from that point, I had to manage 20 people, instructors, putting timetable together, paying your taxes, paying people the wages, making sure everything on time, putting together website, writing all the description of classes. It was so much more than I even thought about at the beginning. And although I really truly love it, I can honestly say that being a businesswoman now, it has so many challenges, because economy changed, everything changed, especially after COVID. People feel very differently about where and what they want to spend the money on. It's very sad that in our community now, people have to sacrifice their well-being because they feel like money is really tight, and going to yoga class, it's a little bit of a luxury, where it really should be a necessity for all of us. And especially all those young moms who are like me, struggling being at home, wanted to come back to exercises. They now have to choose, can they actually afford to go to a gym or a yoga studio? So that makes it all very difficult for our studio owners, because we want to provide a really great experience for our customers, make them feel comfortable that they can have that hour to themselves. But sadly, our world now is so difficult here, and a lot of people opting out from having, even a yoga class a week because they simply can't afford it. So this is where I think a lot of, studios are closing down and having troubles with the business, because it's just really challenging. It's great to see a change in our society now, that we can talk openly about struggles like mental health, like your overall well-being. I think a few years back, although people talked about it, it was sort of frowned upon, because you keep it to yourself. You maybe talk with your family about it, but you don't really out loud voice your issues. We moved forward now, I think, so much, which is great, because even myself, so many months ago, being on that show on Strictly, I needed help. I really needed help for someone to guide me, to offer me some kind of strategies, how to deal with that scrutiny and the press intrusion and pressure from the production and all that. And you just feel like you want to run away, you want to close the door and never come back. Although I digged very deeply and found that strength inside of me, I wish I had help back then and had some kind of guidance from someone, from a mentor, to get me in the right state of mind. Now, 10 years later, being a yoga teacher and also been educated about strategies like breath work, meditation, mindfulness, I can help others, but also I can help myself. Because although life is very different after Strictly, pressures are still there, daily struggles are still there. And learning being a yoga teacher, all the strategies really help me now in day-to-day life to navigate myself. Like everyone else, I wake up every morning and I do have a lot on my mind and I do have a lot on my shoulders. I'm a mom, we have 3 children in our family, we have 2 businesses, and so many other things I still do. But I think it's about understanding when you feel overwhelmed that you need to take a step back. You need to get back to being you, sitting with yourself, perhaps in a quiet room, meditating, thinking about what is really important, what you have to be grateful for, journaling, going for a walk in the nature, breath work, which is an incredible tool for so many things we're going through now. Correct breath work and knowing those techniques can really, really get you back into the right state of mind. And this is something I practice daily because not I just have to, but I need to. And I know it will help me to move myself forward every day. I love public speaking and I have done quite a lot of it because during Strictly I had to go to many events, but I never quite thought it will come out to a point where I feel like I want to tell my story and hopefully I can encourage a lot of women and a lot of people in general to feel if you have a big kind of sort of cloud above you and you feel a lot of pressure on your shoulders, there are ways to get through it, to motivate yourself. I had to do it all my life. I had a very difficult childhood with parents divorcing, lots of fights in our house. Then my mom became an alcoholic, and I had to live through a lot of things going through with her when she was going in and out of rehabs, still keeping my mind into ballroom dancing. So that resilience was building in me since I was a really young kid. There were so many challenges as always in my life, going from one country to another, moving to United States, learning a new language, adapting new lifestyle, then moving to the UK when I was invited to be part of Strictly Come Dancing. Never had any media training. All of a sudden, waking up on front pages of pretty much all newspapers, all of that was so, so hard to go through on my own. But I found a way and I found inner strength, which is now helping me through every single day, any kind of issues I might have. And this is what I want to talk about in my public speaking, because I think I can really relate to a lot of people because I had such a multi-layered and different lifestyle, lived in 3 countries, lived in 3 very different cultures, kind of had 3 different families. So work in different environment, very versatile environment, very pressurized environment with a lot of people who, others find extremely difficult to work with. But I had to make it work because I knew I had to form a friendship and take that person on Saturday night to perform their best in front of 30 million people. So all these things, all of those experiences formed a very clear path in my head, how I can do it, how I can strive under pressure. And those tools, I think, very important to relate and tell others. So perhaps other people can use them too.